Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a movie review for the Netflix original movie, It's What's Inside. This was one of the most interesting movies I've seen in a really long time. I absolutely loved everything about it. Let's talk about it.
Modern movie review.
Alrighty, so I'm going to start off by giving you guys a spoiler-free review of this movie, and then I'm going to dive deeper into the spoilers because there's so many mind-boggling things that they do in this movie that I can't say some of the stuff that I really liked about this movie without diving into the spoilers. So, for starters, I just want to go ahead and say this movie is a sci-fi thriller. It is incredibly interesting. Some of the stuff that they do in this movie is super fascinating, and I like the fact that this movie brings together a group of old friends who haven't really talked in a while, and they're not really as close as they used to be, and just the dynamics of them having to rekindle their friendships, trying to remember exactly how they interact with each other, kind of remembering some old reasons why they used to have like disagreements with each other. And I like the fact that there's a lot of like this undertones of like tension and building throughout this entire movie. I think that that's something that overall the acting in this film is incredible, but like the cast themselves had just an incredible chemistry with each other between different scenes where they are doing certain things that I can't say without it being a spoiler and doing other certain things that I can't say without it being a spoiler. They're just constantly, you can feel just the energy in the room shift from scene to scene where it's like, okay, everything's good and dandy, and then, oh my god, these two might actually be getting into a fight real quickly, and oh my god, these people are arguing about something because there was this unresolved problem that happened 8 years ago. And the way that they build upon the story of what happened 8 years ago, and throughout the story, you'll hear 3 different sides of the story, and you'll hear different like aspects of it from different point of views that fleshes out the entire story of the event that happened 8 years ago, and it's so fascinating. I love the way that they're able to retroactively build upon the same exact story without retconning a lot of moments, without necessarily being like, oh, this thing we said earlier, forget about it, because it is still important. And overall, I just think that the character arcs in this film are fantastic. The overall just like arguments and comedy in this movie are fantastic. I just overall really enjoyed this movie. But that being said, to get into what really makes this movie special, I do need to talk about spoilers. So I'm going to go ahead and issue a spoiler warning here. If you have not seen the movie, you might want to click off and come watch it later. That being said, let's dive into this. Okay, so to dive into the plot of this movie, there is a party. It's kind of like a bachelorette party, or it's a bachelor's party, actually. There's this guy named Ruben. He is going to be getting married soon, and he's really excited about it. He is going to this old house that his family owns, and he's, like, throwing a fun little party. He's a get-together from all of his friends from college. They haven't really hung out since this college party 8 years ago, and like I mentioned, they constantly are bringing back stories about this party from 8 years ago, and you'll find out that like it was a certain friend's birthday party, and that certain friend was getting drunk, and he was doing a bunch of reckless things and kind of like cheating on this girl, and there's a lot of like just different love triangles and situations that are going on in this movie that I really love. But the big thing is they bring together this group of friends, and our main 2 people that we're focusing on are Shelby and what's the guy's name? Cyrus. Oh my god, hold up, I actually remembered it. I was gonna have to look it up. But the main couple that we're focusing... Alrighty, sorry for that awkward cut. I cannot remember the guy's name. But we're focusing on this couple that is Cyrus and Shelby, and their relationship's kind of on the rocks. They start off, they're wanting to have like a very nice intimate moment, and they're talking about how for some reason their sex life is just never good, and they've been dating for about 8 years, and like they just don't seem to be getting anywhere. And we're following them as they're going to this party to celebrate this wedding that's going to be so exciting and fantastic. Immediately they get into the party and they see their friends who are a lot more upbeat and a lot happier, and they're just like seeming to be enjoying life a lot more. And Shelby, this entire movie, she's kind of one of the main focal characters here. She is very jealous of one of the girls at the party because she is an Instagram celebrity, and everybody thinks that she's so beautiful, and she's constantly getting compliments, and everybody wants to like be them. And so she just kind of feels really insecure because she only has 438 followers. She'll post stuff and get like 2 likes, and she's comparing herself to others. And I think that this movie does a really good job with that being one of the main messages. Is comparison is the theft of joy. You do not want to compare yourself to others. And in this movie, they do some cool body swap stuff, and whenever they're in the other people's bodies, they're like getting to like experience things that they never get to feel, and they're kind of like having a really fun time with it. And I think that that's really interesting, and I really love the way that they did that. But to get into the main thing that happens in this movie, they invited a friend who they have not talked to in 8 years. And honestly, none of the friend groups are even still connected to this guy. And they invite him to the party because they're like, you know what? He was a great friend. We had a really bad falling out, but he deserves to be here, right? And he shows up and he brings a briefcase with this mystery device. And he's like, you know what, guys? We're going to play a game. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm going to show you guys this really cool technology that I've been working on. And we're going to do this really cool thing. And he whips out the machine, hooks it up to everybody, and they kind of have like this just like euphoric moment where everybody's just like freaking out and screaming, and they're like, what is happening right now? They're absolutely terrified and they're really confused. And what ends up happening is they all switch brains for a little bit, and then they go back into their regular bodies. And the guy who brought the machine explains to them, okay, this machine, it makes you switch bodies with other people. And what me and my friends at the place that I work at usually do is we'll switch bodies with each other, and then we'll play like a game of like One Night at Werewolf or Mafia or any of those games like that, where you have to pretend to be the person whose body you're in, and we have to try to guess who is in whoever's body. And it's just like this fun little party game. It's super cheeky, super cute, and for the most part they play it, and a lot of the love triangle stuff starts coming out, where like the guy who's getting married still secretly has a crush on one of the girls who are at the party, and then the two people who are in the relationship, Cyrus and Miley, they're, you know, never really having the best connect. So like when Cyrus gets the chance, he cheats on her with somebody else. And then whenever Shelby gets the chance to have some fun and like just dance around and just have a good time with another guy, she has no problem doing that. And it's just really interesting to kind of see how whenever you step out of your comfort zone, you can do certain things that you typically would not do. And in this instance, the comfort zone is literally being within the parameters of your own body. And I thought that that was a really interesting concept. And so they play this game. They do one round of it. They have a really fun time. They decide to play another round of it. And during the second round, the tensions and the different like people making out and stuff like that is just heightened to another level. And two people are making out on the rooftop. And what's it called? While they're making out, they fall and they both die. And the entire plot of this movie is completely fucking flipped on their head when one of the people who is currently in another person's body just sees their dead body laying on the floor. And then there's another person who comes in and they're also looking at their dead body lying on the floor, and everybody is trapped within different people's minds, and they are having to have this like giant argument of like, okay, but that's my body right now. My body is literally laying there lifeless. What are we supposed to do? And a lot of the people who, you know, their bodies are still fine, they want to just go back to their regular bodies. But the problem is some people don't have bodies to go back to, and they're like arguing that like, well, if I have to stay in somebody else's body for the rest of my life, why don't you have to stay in somebody else's body for the rest of your life? And there's just so much interesting tension and arguments and dialogue, and it's just such a compelling movie. And I really love the way that they kind of build up this tension and this conflict of, well, you're a douchebag, I hate you, you're not getting your body back, and stuff like that. And it's just such an interesting movie. I feel like me talking about it is not doing it justice. If you have not clicked off of this video and went and watched the actual movie, please go do that. It's called It's What's Happening. It's on Netflix. It's fantastic. But overall, I just love it because there's so much love triangles and plot twist, and the comedy in it is absolutely fantastic because it's a bunch of friends from 8 years ago reconnecting and just getting drunk and partying, and I love that. I think that that's awesome. And there's just a lot of stuff like that in this movie. And then the movie ends with an incredible plot twist that the person who showed up to the party wasn't even the guy who they thought it was, because it was somebody else pretending to be in his body because they've used the mind switch device, and they went to this party to purposely fuck over all of these people. And I love it. It was so cool, so captivating. If I had to give this movie a rating on a scale of 1 to 100, I'm giving it a solid 93. It is the most interesting, unique movie I've ever seen. The editing for it is incredible. The style for it is absolutely incredible. And I really, really enjoyed this movie, and I would totally recommend it. But yeah, that being said, that was it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming by and checking it out. If you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bow, bow, bow.